If you have a buyer that looks at that property more than once and they don't write a contract, write what we call a reverse offer, sometimes called a seller offer. All it is your normal real estate contract. Prepare that, but then have the seller sign it first and submit it to the buyer. Here's the dynamics of what we have found typically happens on a situation like this. You have a buyer who keeps looking at the property. They tend to be piece or perfection buyers, not always, but that's fairly common. They're smart. They know the property is overpriced, but because they're piece and perfection, they don't want to offend somebody by making a low offer. So they just keep looking at the property. They keep what we call circling the property. On the other hand, you have a seller. Many times they're a power or a party personality, and they know they've overpriced, but they want some bargaining room. And so they're saying to you, well, just get me an offer. Get me an offer. We can work the offer. But they don't get the offer because the buyer doesn't want to offend them with a low offer. And so when you see you have these dynamics, have the seller submit an offer to the buyer. We call it a reverse offer or a seller offer. Now, I was teaching this in a Ninja installation, and a hand went up and says, I just can't imagine doing that. And I was about ready to share with them the hundreds of properties we've sold that way with seller offers or reverse offers, when a hand flew up in the back, and it was Taylor Dye. And Taylor says, well, I just sold a $2.6 million listing that way. Now, it matters who says it, so rather than me tell the story, I said, Taylor, tell us the story. How did that work out?